Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Scion. It is Saturday afternoon, so we're gonna play with our little godlings today. This is episode 21 in our second season. I am Simon at Wandering DM. I'll be the Fates for this game today. I go by he, him pronouns. Before we introduce all of our wonderful cast for today, I just want to thank our sponsors very quickly, beginning with Found Familiar, great coffee company. You should absolutely check them out. I can't write for shit. At foundfamiliar.com, and you can use code WanderingDM to get 10% off everything you purchase. I have to add that their orders are a bit delayed right now because of COVID. But fret not, you can still order and you will get them eventually. Our other sponsor, of course, is Magen Press. They make 5th edition supplements, and I don't know why it doesn't work when I type it. Ooh boy, rough morning. Yeah, store.magenpress.com, and lastly, Roll20. If you want to play D&D or tabletops virtually, you can check out roll20.net. That's the platform we use for all of our games here. And then, of course, I am an affiliate of Die Hard Dice. I'm a Dice affiliate, and I now have a permanent code, so you don't have to change it every month. So if you want to check out dieharddice.com, you can use code WanderingDM, and you get 10% off all of your fancy dice. And they have so many, y'all. It's unbelievable. There's just a lot that I want to get from there. That said, I'll leave the mic up to the players. We'll start to the right of me on the overlay with Lynn. Hi, how are you today?
I am good. Happy to be doing this again on Saturday. And I just remember what happened last time, so it's like, yep, automatic awkward situation coming into this. But yeah, I'm Lynn, I'm Lynn, the Flying Stars, and I am playing D, daughter of Anari, and nebulous social interactions. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Coming back after a short leave, we have Renee. Hi, how are you?
I am doing better after my short leave, but it's been a heck of a couple of weeks, and I still have some COVID symptoms. But I'm here, I'm home, and I may be just kind of sniffly and blowing my nose. Thanks for bearing with me.
That is completely understandable. We'll move on to the second row on the overlay. We'll finish our introductions clockwise, so we will move on to Hannah. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I am okay. I am Hannah, she, her, and in this game I am playing Kieran Kearney, Scion of Loki, who uses he, him pronouns for the time being.
And our last player on the overlay today, because Finbar is unfortunately stuck at work, as real life is wont to do. But we have one more player. Anino, hi, how are you?
How's it going, everyone? My name is Nino. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Eddie Kahele, the scion of the Monkey King, and overall quiet and unassuming guy.
And there should have been noise. There have been music. I can barely hear. Quick second. Chat, you might be hearing sound effects. I don't know for the players. I think the sound effects are very, very low. But we pick back up where we left off last time with our group of Scion in Ireland. In a small village by the name of course I didn't write it. I wrote south of Dublin. Give me 2 seconds. I'll get it up. We're in Ireland, everyone. And we're in the village of Donard. South of Dublin. The group was driven there by a pair of agents from a security company, a Celtic security, and they... my headset died. They basically gave a tour of their office to the Queen's Guard delegation, I guess, as Hugh Dragonsbane was seemingly interested in partnering up with the Irish firm. You convinced two agents to drive you to the home of someone who had been making quite a number of calls, saying that he was haunted and tormented at night by a spirit. That brought you to the small town of Dunnard, which is basically like 3 streets south of Dublin, to a little house by the side of the road near the near Tommy's bar, and like almost across the street from the one and only like grocery store there is in Dunnard. And it appeared when you approached the house that it was sort of almost like a hoarder's house. There was a lot of trash on the sidewalk. Of course, there was no front lawn or anything. It's just, you know, sidewalk house. The place itself looked a little messy, but when you came in, you saw that, like, this person is probably more a collector of trinkets than an actual hoarder. There is, like, a certain order in the chaos inside, and it's not as messy as you would have thought it'd be. The person introduced themselves as Mr. Peter Bloom, and began to tell you about, you know, the problems he's had. You know, old owner of a junkyard in Huntingdon, in Lincolnshire, and he retired after a string of hauntings by a creature that he calls Black Shuck. And his story, like, not that it contradicted itself, but it wasn't all completely clear. Baking needing to go to the bathroom, D took a right instead and snuck into Mr. Bloom's bedroom, and asked the spirits of various objects around. I don't remember exactly who. I think it was the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You asked the mirror and then something else.
The wardrobe was flirting with her.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And then it alerted me there was something under the pillow, and I grabbed it and...
Yeah, you grabbed a bronze torque, the end of which are 2 horses, and you brought it out of the room. And I believe we ended the session with Mr. Bloom going, like, where did you get this?
Yeah.
So we'll pick back up right here.
Yeah.
For morning, you were following along with them, by the way, because you were the like the face of Queen's Guard.
Of course.
And you know, rode in the truck with them. So you are here in this little charming little house. You were offered tea earlier, black tea if you wanted, and we're gonna pick back up here. So like the cramped area, the sort of dining area that is like merged with the living room. To the far end of this room, you have the corridor that leads to the bathroom and the bedroom. And then behind you, like behind and to your right, mostly depending on where you're sitting around the table, would be the little kitchen area. There's a door there that leads to outside to the backyard, and then otherwise facing you is the door to the street. So Bloom goes, where did you get that? That's supposed to be in my bedroom.
Yeah. Yes, it was. And it was under the pillow, and there's a lot of spiritual energy on this.
Who
Enlighten me on
are
what-
you that you just come into my house and steal my things? This is mine.
Thought that we were solving your problem, and I am trying to.
Oh, you're solving my problem by stealing from me? Is
I am
that
not
it?
For the
If I ex-
record, she did not steal it. It is still in the house and under your possession. It just so happens that she is holding it.
This wouldn't fly in court. Now put it back where you found it.
Why don't you just take it out of her hands?
He looks flummoxed, but gets up and approaches D. Approaches D, like, you know, with a certain assurance and confidence. And of course, remember, Mr. Bloom isn't the tallest of individuals. I don't remember how tall D is. But
He's like 5 foot. She's not. She's not.
Oh, okay, so he's a little bit taller than you.
Yeah.
And instead of like trying to tear the torque away from you, he just like walks up to you, extends a hand, and says, "Give it back to me."
Well, hang on. Just out of curiosity, why won't you just swipe it back? If it's yours.
Because it's impolite.
Really?
We're not in
Or
a
is there just-
schoolyard.
Well, are you just concerned that something might happen to you if you were to just take it?
There are 5 of you and 1 of me? Yes, I am concerned for my life right now, sir. Also, she, and he points to Morning, is carrying a lethal weapon.
I always carry a lethal weapon. It's nothing to do with
ornamental.
you.
She's just a cosplayer.
Yes.
I have no idea what this means. Now give it back. Please.
Oh, I don't think we should have to give it back.
I'm not talking to you, sir. I'm talking to her.
I'll hand it back. Like, Mr. Bloom, we're here to help you with your problem. And certain things led me to believe that this might have something to do with it. The fact that you have something like this has certainly brought concern from some things in the area. So, could you enlighten us and tell us what this is?
Would you mind making a roll for me?
Of course.
That would fall under persuasion, but I'll let you decide if you want to use presence or manipulation.
Yeah, I'll use presence. I'm not like. I mean, it's all up to him if he wants.
He's a little distressed at the moment. So
yeah, I mean,
it would require 3 successes.
Okay, I'm decently okay. Let's do it. We have 4 momentum, right?
I think you're at 5 at the moment.
5.
Let me just grab the overlay. Yeah, you're at 5.
Do you mind if I spend 1 to try and get this man to? All right, let's do it. Oh, I'll spend 1. Do I have? I need to roll 1 more, 2 more. Okay, I need to roll that last presence 1.
That is 3 successes.
All right, cool.
His shoulders slump a little. This is all I have left of Killian.
And
it's an heirloom. It's all I have left of him. It's what he left me in his will. Now, I'd like to get it back. All I have to remember my best friend with.
Things with this amount of energy, power, sentiment tend to be powerful. And it could be responsible in some way for what's been happening to you, whether it be back where it came from or here. So she'll hand it back and it's like, do you mind us tell everything about him and what this means? And she'll sit back on the couch.
He's not going to bring it back to the bedroom. Like, he just has it in both hands right now, close to his chest, and sort of turning it around a little.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he sits back down. Killian was one of the reasons I left Huntingdon. I told you. You know, my friend died. And then my dog died. I had nothing else. So I sold the junkyard and came to live here. That is all. I have never done anything to anger any spirits, and I doubt Killian did either. This supernatural event around me. This must have had something to do with the house, or it is not supernatural, and everyone is just making fun of me. You said you wanted to help. Doesn't seem like you believe me much.
If I didn't believe you, I wouldn't have gone looking for what that was. There is certainly something that is attached to you, and it's definitely not the property you care. Whatever entity is following you, or supernatural thing is happening, you carried it. And we want to find out what that is. It was important enough for you to call multiple times to whoever you called. And we're here to help. And we could just leave and let whatever this is happening just fester and maybe get worse. That's entirely up to you and what you share with us. So this is not the time to be cryptic or hide things. We're here to help you.
Believe me, we know the supernatural, like detox to all sorts of stuff, and I talk to dead people. So
and you see his expression like shift. The dreary old man with like the balding head sort of regains a hope that he hasn't known for years. You can see like in his face, it's like he became for a split second a child on Christmas morning. You can really speak to dead people?
yeah.
And he looks down at the torque. So that means you can speak to Killian. Can you?
Yes. Well, there are some parameters. For instance, I would need to know where Killian's buried. Morning is all of the ways. Morning's not the most like sympathetic person, like even though she's helped people with their kind of like processing to the afterlife. So she was like remains Oh, that probably won't
Uh,
go well. Bones probably won't go well.
He again loses all hope again and says, I don't know.
I know.
I I got the news one morning, and you can see like his eyes begin to redden. I just got a call from the police. He had been missing for a few days, but I thought he was just... He told me he often went on long trips by himself. See the countryside. Figured he might have gotten lost in the highlands or something. He'd been reported missing by his neighbor. They never found the body. He just told me he was gone, and then one thing led to another, and meeting with a notary and being read his will, gave everything he had to charity, and he left me this that he wore all the time, which is strange because I figured if he had gone somewhere, he would have brought it with him. Always wearing this stupid thing.
Simon, would there be any signs of the dead, like to specifically speak to Killian? Unless his ghost were present, I would need to find his grave. But are there any other like spirits of the dead that might be lingering around this person's place?
Maybe not around this person, like this very house. Not that you can see right away. One thing that you would know, as morning is there are these spirits called psychopumps, which are basically those that, will help ferry the dead to whatever afterlife awaits them. And the psychopumps have sort of a network among themselves. They know, if a psychopomp finds the spirit of a dead person that doesn't go, let's say you are a psychopomp working for Hades, and this person, either through like cultures, beliefs, or whatever, doesn't belong in the Greek, the Arate afterlife, the underworld. You would bring them to whoever's going to take charge of them. And so, if you're looking for a particular soul, it could be possible if you found a psychopomp to then, just ask them, hey, have you seen this or that person? It might take a while before they can get an answer back to you. I mean, they don't have like an actual like social dead spirit media or something. So it's really just, mouth to mouth, not mouth to mouth, but what's
Word of mouth?
Word of
word
mouth.
of mouth. Wow, Jesus.
You're fine.
It's word of mouth among themselves. So depending on, who it is, how well known they are among the spirits.
Right.
If you're looking for a Scion, or if you're looking for, someone that is relatively similar to you in like essence, in legend, if you will, that might be easier than finding, Joe Schmo, that one dude who died in 1934. That's a little harder, because spirits don't tend to get attached necessarily to the living, well, psychopumps in particular. But if someone makes ripples in the afterlife, then yeah, they'll know. They're like celebrities for them.
Right. Uh, so, uh, I just am gonna look at sorry, what was his name? Barry?
Peter. Peter.
Peter something. And I'm gonna look at everyone else and say, I can go look for some spirits and I'll be right back.
Really something you can do?
Sure.
I mean, if you can.
Sure. I'll walk out. Bye.
You would find yourself, in this. It's a quaint little village. Honestly, it's really pretty. Um, Very much like English countryside type of thing. Um, and it's. I mean, standing at one end of Dunnard, you can practically see the other end of the town.
Cool.
There's again, the O'Keefe Country Store, which is basically the grocery store slash, used to be a general store ages ago. There's a pub nearby. There's a little, very little park. It's just a statue of Virgin Mary among like a gravel patch with shrubs and flowers, with a bench nearby for people to sit. And then about walk 5 more minutes past that, you're out of the village. There's not a lot of people outside. What?
That's okay. I'm not looking for people.
No. You're gonna take a stroll, and
I am live streaming. Hi, everybody. I'm going out to look for some spirits today. When's the last time you saw and talked to a spirit? Letting chat come by.
I mean, you have is it so? Is Morning actually live streaming or pretending to live stream?
No, actually live streaming, but only on Twitter. Because it's I don't think it's expected. She's not expecting it to be a long live stream because at some point she's going to give away personal information. But she'll actually live stream to her followers with her big sword on her back as she looks for spirits. Answering comments and stuff.
There's a question at some point of what are you gonna do when you find them?
Oh, I'm looking for a very important spirit. Not important to me necessarily, but everyone's important to someone. And while I can't find their spirit directly, I might find someone who knows them. Morning's not sneezing.
No, I know. You're gonna walk for a little bit.
That's fine. That's why I'm talking to people.
Let me just find the place. Oh boy. Well, about an hour of just wandering around.
I'm
And-
sorry, I just realized how Morning can just live stream to her followers and be on different sides of the world within an hour, and it probably causes some confusion. There's like these in like the more intense subsets of her following. I think there's like conspiracy theories about how she travels the world so quickly.
Yeah, it's just like, is this real? Is this?
There's definitely a few like internet sleuths trying to figure out one, if you're real.
Is she
Because
even real?
well, you could all be some sort of like augmented reality ad for a movie or a game or something.
Wow, of course, yes.
But after about an hour of walking, normally, without using any of your powers, you start to pick up on something. You know those few people that you saw on the street in Dunard? You're farther away from the village. You're in the countryside at the moment. And realize they're there again.
Oh.
Though not necessarily doing the exact same thing they were doing in Dunard. Some were just, sat down on a bench talking. One was just walking, like, on the sidewalk. Now that one person is raking leaves. There are no leaves, by the way, where they're raking, which kind of clues you to what's going on. And even the other two, they're standing up, and they're not looking at you directly, but they seem to
Right.
be looking towards the village of Dunard, like towards where you came from.
Yeah. I think I tell all of my followers that I may have found something.
They want to see.
And yeah, I get like very quiet, and I just say, saying this to them, and then I say, hello, excuse me.
The three of them freeze. The dead aren't used, and you know that. They aren't used to anyone from the world of the living to actually see them. They stop, they look at you, and one of them says in a very thick Irish accent, can you see me, lass?
Yes, of course I can see you.
Who are you? You want?
Well, I'm in training to be a goddess of war and death and a few other things. But it's a process. I'm looking for someone, actually. And I have the internet here. She points to her phone. Is there anything you would like to say?
I didn't understand half the words you said.
Oh, they didn't understand me. I think maybe it's time for me to go. I didn't even know what the internet was. Sorry, she's talking to her. I didn't even know what the internet was. I'm like holding my hand down here, and it's like I could actually hold my phone up.
I think D, like, whenever, like, being like the person that maybe like helped Morning with social media stuff, I think just like keeps an eye. So like while we're talking to this guy, like she's like looking at her phone.
Chat.
Yeah. Do I see anything, or is it like nothing? Like from the phone.
In your case, I think it would be nothing.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not
I do
actually I'm not actually showing them either. Like I'm showing my face and just like talking to the dead people. Because I think Morning is self-aware enough to understand that spirits aren't going to show up on. I think that was one of her first questions for D, actually.
I think D was like, I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah, we figured that one out pretty fast.
Um, but yeah, even when they spoke, you know, you D could hear Morning reply,
Mm-hmm.
or even ask the question, I should say, and then just look at the camera and say, you know, they didn't understand or whatever. But you never heard anyone
Mm-hmm.
reply.
Yeah. Interesting. All right.
That's okay. I didn't know what the internet was until people told me when I first appeared in this world, so I understand, but this may be a bit of a private conversation, so I'm signing off. And sneezy. So sorry, y'all.
Sorry.
Signing off for now. Talk to y'all later. Um, Boarding has not come up with a better sign off yet because Renee has not, so that's just life. But putting down the phone, she says, okay, then let's talk in terms you understand. I'm looking for a spirit.
How'd you know we're dead?
I can tell.
And they look at one another. I mean, we know. We kind of figured. Been a long time. Nobody can see us. Nobody can hear us.
My mother is the Morgan.
Oh,
Some daughter I would be if I weren't able to tell.
I guess. Are are you here to take our spirits away?
No, of course not. Unless you want, I can open a gateway for you.
Why, that would be
But
lovely.
I hate to say, but do you feel you could make peace with moving to the afterlife? Quickly.
Maybe. Is there anything we need to do?
No, no, not at all. It's just, well, the space in between is a bit dangerous right now. Usually I would recommend passing through as quickly as possible, but sometimes it takes a while to process death, and that's okay. But if there's any way to do processing here so that you save time and can move quickly to the afterlife safely, I'd recommend that.
Um, Dangerous, you said.
Just a bit.
Is that why we see that big eye in the sky? And yeah, oh yeah, right, you're
Yeah.
right. That
No,
goes
I was
back
there.
to-
I was
yeah,
actually there. Yeah.
So, still there.
Yeah, she just kind of like looks up at it and she just says, I think they're related. I just don't know for sure. So if you feel you could quickly pass and process, I will open a gate for you now.
I
But if you feel you need more time to process, do it here, and I promise I will come back when it is safe for you to pass through.
um, one of them will say, I need to get my notes. Um. Oh shit. Yes, I think that's what it is. Oh, why, Simon? Yeah, one of them will say, I died a long time ago. My family's all gone. The redcoats got the better of them. I don't think I need to stay here any longer.
course. I understand. And I look to the other two.
Um, the one that wasn't raking will say, I don't know for me. I know Elric over there probably has still some unfinished business. Maybe you could give me a couple of days,
Of course.
just so we'll make sure that everything's in order. I still have family. See? Just the one, live nearby in Durnamuk. I meet me here in whatever time you decide. It's not like it's going to affect me much.
Is this the best place to meet you?
Is there a better?
Oh, no. Just I want to make sure that I'm coming to the right place to meet you. And she'll open the camera app on her phone and take just like a picture of something notable nearby just so that she can make sure this is the right place she returns to.
There's like a small it's half broken, but you know these little walls that were made of fieldstone, like on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
There's still like parts of one. That's probably the only thing that really stands out. The rest is just, grass, a couple of trees. You really are just like in the countryside. I mean,
Right. Yeah. I mean,
there.
and that's okay too, because every tree is unique, right? And all I have to be able to do is visualize where I'm going. Presuming I'm leaving from our cabin. So I just take a picture of the area so that it is apparent where I need to come back to. And I say I'll open the gate either way. But I'm looking for a soul named Killian. Very important to someone nearby in your town. If I don't know if you've heard of him. I think his death caused quite a commotion in the world of the living, in that he was missing for some time and his friend only heard word from the police. There's a lot of mystery surrounding it. Would you happen to know anything of a Killian?
I wouldn't know anything of a Killian, but I know of some weird things going on in that one house over in Donnet.
That would be very helpful if you could tell me anything about that.
We tend to avoid the place, especially lately. Elric can probably tell you more. He saw the beast face to face, but that one person that lives there now, the lone man, he brought with him this creature. It never existed before we saw him move. Now that he did, tend to avoid the place at night. Creepy.
Of course. A monster, you say?
Boy, imagine a big black dog with only one eye.
I don't like that.
The other one will just point to the sky and says, "Oh, it's like an eye like this one. Big and red. Looks
I
through
see.
you. Always hungry."
Morning just looks up at the sky for a moment and goes ahead and like reaches out mentally to see if there's any notable gate to the underworld nearby.
Can you make a Hmm.
Because I think the direct phrasing is I can perceive any entryways.
Oh, then yeah, you can see them. Then in that case, would you see it? Um, it's not within your line of sight, but you get the feeling that there's one nearby.
I'll follow that feeling and I'll just tell the spirits to walk with me as we talk.
Right. It's about 3 miles southeast of where you are.
I have the time. I think for those that have unfinished business, I just take the time to kind of learn what it is. I mean, that's part of what the processing always is in the garden is just like having them grasp what they need to let go of and what they can take with them. Um, so, like, whether it's talking about their grievances or their family, there's like a kind of a process to this that Morning is very familiar with because that's like all she used to do. Um, so she just kind of starts those conversations with them so that she has some awareness of what remains to be done for them before they're content to move on as well. So like even she's not just completely stuck on the information she needed. She takes some time for them as well.
You will learn that the three of them were farmers back in the 18th century, end of the 18th century. They wait, is it 18th? End of the 1700s.
Mhm.
Can't count my centuries right now.
That's okay. I can't even brain that way right now.
They were part of the Irish Rebellion. And well, they were nominally part of the rebellion. In fact, they were sympathetic to the cause, but they wouldn't have fought in the rebellion
Right.
at all. Except that the British didn't care. And all
Right.
three of them will explain, like, they died really not fun deaths.
Right.
And as you approach that gate, which is a cottage, a lone, like, thatched roof cottage, like, I think it's like 7 miles away from Dunnard in the end. It stands alone in a field. In our world, like out of game, it's a museum now. In this world, the cottage itself is stood abandoned. It's marked as a historic site, but not really well kept. And the reason for that is, and you see it now, the entrance to the cottage is a door to the underworld.
Mm.
Like, living beings will tend to avoid the place because it gives them the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. Fair.
And it's the type of place, it's the type of place that people would say, like, it's haunted.
Right.
It's not necessarily haunted, but the thing is no spirit can cross the threshold and see what's inside the house. They basically end up in the underworld automatically.
Mm.
And the reason why there's a door there is just unpleasant at best. You can clearly see, like, these against the door of the cottage, like the darkened silhouette of someone. whoever stood in the doorway, their death became like the nexus for that door. So there was something powerful that happened here. Powerful enough to create like a bridge between the two worlds. And
Right.
those places are rare, especially in modern times. Like 1700 is modern times if you compare it to like the history of the gods.
Right.
So yeah, it's understandable that humans will try to shy away from here.
Right. Okay. Um, I'll gesture to the door and just look to the one who's most interested in leaving and just say, just through there is the path to the garden where I come from. And after a few moments there, you'll be ready to pass on to the next.
Aye.
You're free to go anytime. If the rest of you need more aid, I'm happy to return. Um, Helping people process death is what I do, but that's a sure path.
And is everyone at the garden as nice as you?
Some are a bit more mischievous, but my father is there. He's wonderful, told me all of the stories of the mortal realm that made me interested in coming here. His tales were much older than the world I found, but still so fascinating. Uh, Everyone there has the same experience I do, short of visiting the mortal world. There's still a lot I have to do here. I am embracing my mother's legacy, and beyond that, there's. She just kind of like gestures to the eye in the sky. Other obstacles I can address here that will hopefully make it easier for those in the garden or passing to the afterlife.
Well, I think I'm ready.
You can go anytime. Thank you for your help.
You're very welcome. He nods to the other two and says, "Gents, I hope to see you soon again." And he walks up like the cobblestone path that leads to the door of that cottage. He looks back once, and then, you know, when he would normally open the door to the house, he just like gradually fades and disappears.
Morning just nods encouragingly, but stays silent as he passes on.
The raking man from earlier, Elric, will turn to you and say, "Think I'm gonna go too. But before I do, I kind of overheard the conversation earlier. That giant black dog.
Yes.
You asked about someone named Killian, right?
Killian, yes.
I think the dog said that same name.
The dog.
Like a mutter under its breath.
Do you
I don't know
know?
who it is. The man living there is called Peter, not Killian.
I'm familiar with Peter. And this dog is linked to Peter's presence there.
Why, it didn't exist before. It arrived maybe, I don't know, must have been a month after the movers came. The house has started getting some clutter, I tell you. Even in the front yard. What little room there was already piling up with a couple of old TVs and I think a broken down shopping cart.
And they mentioned that at night was when they most were inclined to stay away.
Boy, the dog only appears at night.
And what time of day is it now, Simon?
Um, when you went to meet with Celtic security, that was in the morning. I think it was like early afternoon when you arrived in Dunnard. So let's say it was 1 p.m. You walked for 2 hours, maybe chatted for like a half hour more. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon.
Okay, cool. I will thank him profusely and turn to the third person as well, and just say, if you can remember the way, this gate will still be there. But I will return at least to check on you, if nothing else, in a few days' time.
Aye. Oh, thank you.
And I look at, was it Eldrick?
Elric.
Elric, and just say, whenever you're ready.
I think I am. And he walks like up to the door. He takes a bit more time before opening the door. But in the end he does. Like maybe after like a solid 5 minutes of waiting in front of it. He leaves.
Morning's patient. That's fine. This is something she's done before. As weird as she is socially, she can handle talking about death. So I think that after he finally passes through, she parts ways with the third spirit, and if possible, she'll use that door to travel back to Peter's door.
The last spirit will give you like at least his name. Well, I forgot to introduce myself. My name's Angus.
I hope you find peace, Angus.
I hope so too. And like he's going to go the opposite way. And your teleportation through doors. You need to spend for that.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, because you would like go back to the cottage and then go back to yeah. So it's just to imbue one. So as long as you have a point of legend like to spare. Yeah, it's basically just a like you take a shortcut through America to go back to Ireland.
Yeah, that's fine. I can do that.
Meanwhile, you're back at so while morning is gone, D, you're gonna follow along on the live stream sneakily. Kieran, Eddie D, and Finbar are still at Peter's house. So what's the plan? What are you gonna do? To help, I mean. Not to steal everything from my house.
We're not here to steal from you, man. For God's sake, quiet down. If the thing shows up at night, I guess the only thing we can do is wait around until the mongrel comes around. Yeah? Unless there's something we can do to summon it. But I assume this thing's nocturnal.
I've never seen it during the day. Again, if it's just vandals, then it makes sense. They wouldn't come to my house during the day. Everyone could see them on the street. It's not like there's any privacy around here.
You said yourself it was a dog, though. It's still a dog, right?
It looks like a dog.
Okay, then.
It walks like a dog. But it also hold itself upright and stare through my window.
With its little paws on the windowsill, I'm assuming.
I don't know, I never went to check.
Don't get mad at me. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of weird, mangy animal you got sneaking around here in the dead of night.
I don't know what it is. But I'm hoping you can find out. You're the only one so far who haven't run out of here laughing at me.
Still time for that. I think the best course of action would be to try to take the thingamabob she got there, away from the house and see if the thing goes to your house or if it follows the thingamabob. That he'll look at Dee and Eddie. Does that sound reasonable? Does that sound like something we can do?
It's worth a try. See if it's locality based instead of person based. Even though it still seems to have quite a big interest in you. But it's good to rule things out.
How do I know you're gonna bring it back?
Well, you don't, but what use would we have of your doohickey? Like, does it have any value apart from to you?
I don't know.
If I really wanted to steal it, I would have just pocketed it.
Nice, you would have just done it.
We're beyond, I think we're beyond pointing fingers at this moment. We're here to help you, and this thing can help.
He'll agree. And Finbar will even say, in case the dog comes back here, Finbar will stay with Peter. Or at least, around. Being, an Irishman himself, Finbar at least can sort of entertain Peter for a while with, mundane talk. And would probably be the least scary individual among the five of you. Peter reluctantly slides the torque on the table. Please
Dee,
bring
I
it
think
back.
Dee will pick it up. I'll take good care of it. I know it's important to you.
Is there anything else I should do?
Just stay indoors. Try not to do anything that'll attract dogs, specifically.
Don't think I do anything to attract dogs, not willingly. I mean, animals do love me. Guess I'm just that type of person.
Or a regular Disney princess.
I wouldn't say like in the cartoons, but I haven't had, aside from that one dog, I've never had a dog get angry at me. Anyway, you want more tea? No?
I guess we could have another cup before we have to go.
And it's, while you're drinking that other cup, and in relative silence, he doesn't have much to add. Like, from time to time, you'll just, like, talk about the weather for, like, 1 or 2 sentences, and then awkward silence falls back on the house, and when the front door opens to let morning in, that's where we're gonna go to break. And we'll be back in about 5 minutes for the second half of our session. Stick around, everyone. Apparently, they're going to hunt a dog. Hey, we're back. So, we'll, I think, pick back exactly where we left off. I was going to flash forward, but no, Morning just stepped in through the door. Mr. Bloom freaked out.
Oh, well, I
Knocking?
left. Oh, no, I just walked through, from somewhere else. Morning just looks at everyone else like,
She only went for a short trek. Does she
Yeah,
gotta announce herself every time?
Yeah, she went to go
Thank
figure out if
you.
there's anything. Were they helpful at all?
as helpful as they could be, I believe. Several of them have passed on now, and I'm grateful for that. But this dog you talk about has apparently been speaking Killian's name.
It speaks?
It speaks.
I've never heard it speak. Ever.
Well, the dead have. And this link between this beast, you, and your lost friend, I feel is stronger than you may have imagined.
Have I mean, it's not my dog. Killian knew.
It might not even be a dog. It's probably not a dog.
So, what is it then?
My best guess is it's some sort of spirit that either through Killian, got attached. And it probably can't leave either. You're linked to it. And unless we figure out what the basis of it is, it's going to stay that way. Which is why I brought up this. And from my experience with things, this goes on for too long, they can become restless or hostile. So the sooner we figure out what this is, the better.
I mean, it is hostile enough right now.
This is not hostile.
It's
When
not.
I talk about hostile, I'm talking about way worse things.
I don't want that. I
You shouldn't want that. So that's why I'm going to take this thing and see if I can go to the edge of the property, walk a while, and see if we can figure out anything. And who knows, we might have to even camp out tonight. See if it appears.
That's fine. Can we get it catered?
Can we get what?
Camp out. Can we get it catered?
I don't think any of those delivery things deliver around here. I wouldn't.
Well, that's because you're lazy.
I ain't lazy. I'm selective. That's what I do with my time.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
I have some frozen dinners. I can warm them up and bring them over.
No, that's fine. We're good.
There a nice cafe nearby? Anything, something small, family owned, maybe?
There's the pub.
We can get food to go from the pub.
Right, they make decent fish and chips.
When in Ireland, don't eat frozen dinners.
There's the campground. By off Main Street. It's not that big. And you kind of need to have a trailer, but, or a tent. It's a caravan place mostly. But
Well,
We'll figure it out.
yeah, I feel like we'll just get food to go. Are we camping out on the porch, or are we taking the thing with us?
Oh, I thought we'd take it like some distance away so as to make sure that it's not, in the vicinity of where it usually comes so that we can determine
Right.
whether
Yeah.
it's haunting the man or haunting the thing.
Make sure that this thing isn't the focus. And
Right. So maybe the campground would be decent.
well, it's just a few ways that way.
all right, we'll see if this is it. I'm hoping that this is it. And if it's attached to you, it's going to be a lot harder.
Okay.
Have fun. I haven't fought something in a while.
You're looking to fight. Whoa. You're looking to fight this?
We don't know that yet. We just, we might be able to have a nice talk with it.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not necessary, but
Yeah, it can talk. I'll only fight if I need to fight.
Totally reassuring.
Yeah.
Well, I bid you luck then, I guess.
Thank you.
And with that, y'all leave, leaving Finbar behind, and head down the street. It's basically like morning. You walked past it without realizing it. Like it's off on a side street, so you didn't go like right in front of it, but you went by it, I should say. Whereas you went in a straight line earlier, you would have needed to turn. And it's this little, like, nice little, like, hedge-flanked road that goes all the way to a small cabin. There's a gate, and then beyond that is just, like, a vast field with, like, little spots. It looks almost chaotic in how it's been arranged, whereas a lot of, like, campgrounds are going to have, like, specific spots for like tents and RVs and trailers and everything. This one is basically just like pick a spot. If it works, it works. And when you approach, there's an older woman, dark red curly hair, brown glasses. She's probably definitely retired. You think maybe like late 60s, early 70s. And she like opens the window and leans in so that like only her elbow and part of her face are poking out. And she's, how many nights?
Just the one, thanks.
One night? 27 euros a piece.
You know what? I'm pretty sure our buddy who's coming after us said that he's gonna foot the bill. We just gotta wait for him. He's gonna have the camper too. He should be coming along any minute.
No money, no access. That's how it is. You're free to wait for your friends here.
Eddie just quirks an eyebrow and waits for, Kieran to come up with an alternate way to charm this person.
Okay. You really don't trust us? Look, good old Irish boy. Come on.
As pretty as you are, sir, your good looks ain't gonna make my boss less mad at me if I let all of you come in without paying.
That's fair. Didn't realize you had a boss to answer to. Can't ask you to go out of your way for something like that. I wouldn't get you in trouble. That's not like me. Shoot.
Talk to dead people.
Did you just say that out loud? Like to this lady?
The two people who are supposed to talk to people aren't doing it. So Morning interjects.
Excuse us.
I'm not dead.
No, she's not. She's clearly not dead. She's very much alive.
Oh, I know, but
I would like to try with this woman to use my knack skill Blather and Skite to give my companions time to sneak into the campground while she's distracted. Is that something that I could possibly do?
It's possible, yes. Let me just check something about this ability of yours. Blather and where's it? Blather and Skite. Okay, so it would work automatically for you, right? You don't need to roll.
Okay.
So you could spout nonsense at her and get one person for free in.
Okay, how
now, if
do
you
I
roll, which would be one of your knack skills, which I suppose is going to be subterfuge. So I would say manipulation plus subterfuge, and for every success that you roll, that's one more person.
Okay, let's try this. Manipulation and subterfuge.
Yeah, you need 3 successes basically if you want to get everyone through.
I'm gonna try my darndest. Okay, so this is the first time we're visiting the area, and it's really lovely. But God damn it, that's we really could use some recommendations on things to see while we're here, because we're just we're taking the scenic route to pass through the area, and that's why we're spending the night here with our buddy who should be coming along anytime soon. So I got 2 people in.
Actually 3, because there's plus you get 1 automatically.
Cool.
Nice. Okay, good.
So everybody but me.
Yeah, if that's what you want.
Okay, that's fine. They've got the doohickey. That's the important part.
So yeah, if everyone else wants to sneak in, you realize that Kieran has the attention of that lady fixated upon him. She, like, tunnel vision, she doesn't see anything around.
Hey, I'll do that. But I do think someone kind of has to guide Morning a little bit, because, like, what if she asks someone that she wants to talk to? Or we could tell her that the place is haunted and we're just here to help.
It's like, if she's here knowing that this is haunted, she's gonna charge us more. So let's go. Come on. 27 euros.
Yeah, like $27 per person.
That's not 27.
I mean, we can certainly afford it, but it's the principle of it.
That's what I'm flabbergasted by. Y'all have so much money that you're using your God-given powers to see.
I have no money. It's the other two that have all the money.
Yeah, they haven't even really told us that they have so much bank.
You didn't ask.
Morning doesn't know? You think money has any weight for her?
Well, D should know because D was there with all the, the income getting transferred around and paperwork getting set.
Whose responsibility are the living people? You two. Whose responsibility is the money?
Why would you
two.
trust us
I'm
with
just
any
saying.
living thing?
That's an excellent question, Morning.
But you see, technically, it's not even Eddie who has to deal with, the everyday operating stuff. Eddie's the big picture guy.
Who knows what our account is doing? We have no idea.
It's just accumulating. That's what we
it's all
like.
in his name. Watch out for that.
So, having gotten the other three into the campground, I have to ask if it would be possible for me to use my boon called Walk Unnoticed that takes imbuing one legend for me to walk out of eyesight of this woman, slough off my identity, and then walk right by her.
I mean, it might be possible. Let me check. It's walk unseen?
Yes, walk unnoticed.
Unnoticed. Sorry. Wait, what? Okay, sure, book. Give me the wrong stuff. Is that a knack?
It's a boon.
Oh, it's a boon. Okay. Boon. I was in the wrong book, that's why. Walk unnoticed. $246. Awesome. So. Okay, so you would appear. The thing is with Walk Unnoticed is you appear as like a background actor.
Okay.
You would still be. She would still realize there is someone there while she doesn't realize it is you.
That's fine.
There
It
is
doesn't
a
work.
chance.
Mhm.
No, but what I'm saying is you're gonna have to do a clash of will with her.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, because there's like a 50-50 chance that she believes that you're someone who's already like paid and like has a trailer or whatever in the campground. Otherwise, she might believe you're just like a new person that came in.
€27 again.
So it's a clash of will, and it's a +3 complications on her side. So the roll is you roll manipulation plus legend.
Okay.
And she rolls cunning. Oh god.
How cunning is this? I mean,
never.
having worked in customer
mind.
service.
Let me just check. Let me just check. I need to roll a bunch of 10s for it.
It's gonna be.
Wait,
Yeah,
where?
no.
I don't see
you don't have to
anything for
roll.
legend.
Yeah, I know the sheet doesn't let you do it specifically, so it would have to be like manipulation under attribute, nothing
Okay.
under skill, and then an extra 2 dice. But you don't need to roll. She needed 4 successes basic.
God.
She didn't get them.
Okay.
Like it's almost impossible for a human to see you.
All right. So I go out of eye shot of this woman, come back, and as I'm passing, I'm like, I'm already parked inside. Thank you.
Just have a nice day. Close the door. Yeah, if you were to check the account, just to answer Robert in chat, you're not millionaires, but you're well off. Like 27 euros is.
We're not millionaires yet. I mean, we've only been employed for about, a month. So,
Give it time to accrue interest. That's what we're trying to do. We don't want to
Oh,
pay.
well, yeah,
we don't
but
want to
we get
nickel and
paid-
dime it away.
Yeah, I mean, we get paid on the 15th and the last business day of the month, so.
Y'all are immortal beings.
We've only been like that for like 2 months,
Listen.
like under 2 months.
All
Was
the
that-
more
was that-
reason, all the more reason why we need to, practice our powers and, make sure that
I mean,
it works out pretty well.
it's only fitting that a god would be the only being able to win at capitalism. So that said, you sneak in. Congratulations, you're in. Like I said earlier, it's this large field. There are like a couple of tents here and there, a couple of trailers. Is there a specific type of location you'd be looking for in here?
Probably something that's just out of the way and away from the rest of the folks who might be.
Just in case I do get to swing my sword tonight.
In case I have to turn to a fox or something, I don't know.
There's there's like an area. It's a bit farther away. Basically, it doesn't have electricity. It doesn't have any amenities whatsoever. It's really when you want to do I don't know how you call that in English. In French, we call that wild camping. But it's basically there's nothing around, no toilets, no nothing. And it's fairly secluded. Oh, apparently it's wild camping. Anyway. Or freedom camping. Yeah, sure. Basically, it's not like a specific lot that's designated for that. It's just here's a nook around a little wooded area. Do whatever you want, but don't litter.
Mm-hmm.
So, roughing it. You can while away the hours. I mean, it's about 4 or 5 p.m. The sun is not set yet. There's still a good maybe 3 hours before it sets. But still. Is there anything that you would like to do, either to prepare, to just pass the time with? You want me to fast forward until nighttime?
Didn't you all like scary stories?
Sure.
Oh, here we go.
I wasn't expecting anyone to take me up on it. So there's 2 people out in a cabin in the woods and they're sleeping at night. And suddenly they hear this sound rustling about outside their window. And they think, oh, there's somebody out there who's, walking about. So they listen and they can hear this person, they don't know, outside. And so they call out, hey, is there somebody out there? Clap if you can hear us. And the thing claps, right? And they say, well, clap once if you're human. Nothing. Well, clap once if you're not, if you're some sort of creature. And then they say, all right, well then, how many of you are out there? And they hear,
Oh my goodness.
scary, right?
So scary.
You never know what's out in them woods.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Oh, we're out here in the grandness of nature.
I think Eddie will tell a story, but we don't actually have to go through it. It will just come back later in the evening, and as we come back or fade back in, he goes, and that is the price of college in the next 20 years.
Jesus, I thought my story was scary.
Morning listens just as intently to both.
I think in that moment, also Deaver realized that she still is technically in college. Still.
That's the true horror story.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, oh no.
Time passes as you tell each other horror stories. And the sun sets gradually. Of course, unless you light up a fire, you're going to be completely in the dark. But you can see a few campfires light up here and there. In some trailers and RVs, the lights go up.
Hey, Morning, can your sword light on fire?
No? What? That'd be cool.
We could certainly give it a try.
Yeah, let's see if you can will your sword to light on fire.
Oh, I was just going to
I'll be
light it.
impressive as hell if you can't do that.
Well, no, we don't want to just light it. I feel like if it was meant to light up a fire, it would.
Yeah, Morning just holds the sword up and says, "Fire!" and shakes it a little bit. I don't think it lights on fire.
It pretty much remains a sword.
Here. Why don't you try saying, for the honor of Grayskull?
For the honor of Grayskull! It doesn't work.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's not.
You just hear in the distance in the campground someone just go, yeah, but nothing else.
Well, I guess this is up to you, Eddie. You can just light yourself on fire and just sit there in the middle for a bit.
Why don't I just light us a nice fire? We can, sit and toast our feet until some great dog comes around.
I mean, I guess.
If it comes around.
What do you think? It's spooked off by the fire?
No, it's just that it might not be. Could be the other thing. It just stays around him, but.
Well, if there was the possibility of us staying out here all night long and no dog coming, we really should have tried to get ourselves a camper. Or at the very least, a tent.
I mean, I suppose we could just go back to the cabin and, find the tent and camping equipment that we stored in the shed outside and bring it back. But I feel like that's too easy.
Let's work. I'm gonna. Kieran will pull out his phone and we'll text Finbar if the dog comes around, give us a ring.
He texts back a thumbs up. And you spend a good 2-3 hours in the dark, just sitting, listening to the crickets. Pretty much utter silence for a while. And then your phone goes off. It's Finbar. It's texting, "It's here."
Oh, shite, the dog's there.
Well, this was fun. How do we get back?
Well, hold up. What's it doing? Send.
Sitting across the street, staring.
Should we give it 5 minutes, see if it stays there or if it moves, or should we just go straight away?
We should go right now.
Okay, let's.
Yeah, I want to see this dog.
He texts back like while you're making your way back to the house. Shillelagh ready. Dog hasn't moved, and he even sends a picture. You can see that the pic is not really well focused. From what you can gather, Finbar's not standing directly in front of a window.
Mhm.
He's kind of like hiding and just put his phone out, take the picture. It looks vaguely like a dog, in the sense that you can't really make out exactly, but it seems to have 4 legs and is sitting on its hind legs like a dog would. It's lanky and tall. Like it could probably be like a greyhound maybe. But there's something wrong with how the shoulders are. It's like if this dog didn't really have a neck and it's just like one big head that merges into the... But it is completely black, by the way. There's no like hair that you can see. It's very difficult to distinguish where body parts start and end. But the one thing that you do notice is that in the center of its face is one red eye.
Christ, that's an ugly dog.
And when you approach the cottage, I'll say you're maybe like a good 20 yards away. You can barely make it out against the darkness of the night. Like there are, street lamps lit up and everything, so you can see like there's a thicker shadow sitting there. It doesn't move, still stares at the house.
Dee's gonna walk toward it and just, yell out toward it. Spirit, who are you? What do you want? What brings you to this place and ties you here?
It turns to the 4 of you. And you have the feeling like it took longer, but it's pretty much just a blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the entire world, or maybe your perception of the world, lagged out for a bit. And he's now about 10 feet in front of you. Hasn't moved, like his position is the same, sitting dog. You can see it a little bit more. The legs, the paws, the claws. It's got a very short snout. Maybe like that of a pug. And you can barely make out like the outline of its teeth. And the eye looks at you. Unblinking. You hear it smell like a dog. And then in a very croaky voice says, "No. Food." And it again disappears. Or teleports, really. But this time, instead of going back to where it was, it is now sitting right in front of the door. Peter's.
Do you guys think maybe we took away the protection that was keeping it from coming inside?
Well, it hasn't gone inside yet.
If we did, then we need to get it back inside now.
Uh,
What do you do?
Maybe we should just, chuck it through the window.
does somebody have the strength to chuck it all
I-
that way? Sure would be nice.
Did like,
Hmm.
Although it might break.
What, the thingamabob or the window? Because I think the window is less of a problem.
No, no. Dual horse-headed thingy.
I mean, it's worth a try, right? I mean, the only other thing I can think of is to like tackle the dog away from the door, or like see if we can get it to fetch. Doesn't look like the fetching sort, though.
I don't think so. I can get in there if there was a back door, right?
I didn't see one. Did anybody else see a back door?
There was
There was
one,
a
yes, that led to
Oh.
the backyard.
I can. Hopefully, this won't attract his attention. If I think I can sneak past it.
Well, we can certainly try to distract the dog while you try to go around the other way.
Yeah. Have Finbar just crack open the back door.
Right. I'll text him.
All right. Finbar will reply. He thinks he knows what this dog is, or at least what it's connected to.
I'll send a line of question marks.
He replies, Baylor.
Does anybody know what Baylor is?
Isn't that connected to the eye thing that's
Yeah,
supposedly over
it
above?
sure is. But I mean, that's not surprising. Eye on the dog, eye in the sky, right?
Sure, just didn't realize the man was a dog person.
Eddie's just going to start rolling up his sleeves. I'm like, well, I guess I'll provide a distraction. Is there like a stick or a rock around?
Yeah.
It's all the junkyard stuff.
There's a
right?
whole junkyard, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's in front of
Oh.
his house, but that's where the dog is. But remember when I said, like, when Morning went on a walk, there's like this little park with like gravel and a statue of the Virgin Mary. Like, you can just pick up like a handful of gravel from there, or a bigger pebble.
He'll look for a branch.
You
I
can
mean, if
snap one
we're
from
going to irritate the Hound of Balor, well, we should do so in a very insulting manner. And then you'll just hear Eddie whistle as if trying to call a dog, and then he's just going to throw the stick so that it lands in front of the Hound.
It looks at it and then looks back at the door.
Hey, wait. Is D sneaking around?
All right. So what I'm gonna do is right before, like, I guess, Eddie like throws a stick. She's gonna look at everyone. Okay, I've never had a chance to do this. If they're closed, please pick them up. And she'll turn to a fox.
Okay.
Oh.
An actual fox? Like, not
Mhm.
just... Okay.
Yeah, the mortal math. Yeah.
You're a little fox. Start walking the house.
gonna-
You have
yeah,
the
she's gonna-
torque, like, in your mouth or something?
Yep.
Okay. I want to ask you to make a stealth check. 'Cause,
Okay.
You're going, but because you are an inconspicuous creature, and you're also, smaller than a human. I'll give you a we'll go with a +2 enhancement.
Okay.
So basically, if you have any successes, then you automatically get 2 free successes.
Okay. Which attributes are those going to be?
I think pretty much we're gonna go with Dex and Dex and Subterfuge.
Okay, it's not the worst. All right, please.
So that's 5,
Hey.
and I have 1.
Oh boy. Okay.
So yeah, you sneak in, basically climb up the wall, like the fence, backyard. The dog hasn't seen you at all. And Finbar, cracked the door open when he saw something. I don't think you've ever turned into a fox.
Nope, absolutely not.
So he just sees a fox with like the torque in its mouth. I mean, he can understand fairly quickly that, okay, if it's not one of you, it's like one of you did something. So he's going to call the fox inside like you were an actual wild animal. Like,
the fox, like, I'll give just like, what? Like that, like, just kind of like, if a fox could look like indignant, it would. And she'll just like just shut, like, just kind of like back up against the door so it closes back, and then just like trot toward Finbar and just kind of like place the torque in his hand.
When you enter the cottage, now that the door was cracked open, the dog is inside. Those of you outside, the dog is
Shit!
Where'd it go?
and it's sitting currently on the table, looking down at everyone because it's sitting on a table. It's almost like its head clips a bit through the ceiling.
Cool.
And it doesn't seem to bother it at all. And it's just out. And Peter is like by his bedroom. He was like looking through the door. It's just white as a sheet.
Is it sword time?
What do y'all do? Oh, maybe I should.
Well, we should go inside, right? Because that's where the dog is.
Is it sword time?
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
It sounds like sword time.
I don't know.
It's sword time! And Morning takes the sword off her back and charges into the house.
All right. I think after the dog thing says that, Dee's gonna transform back into her human form and just kind of like put herself in between the dog and him in there, like between him and like the bedroom.
All right. You put yourself still as a fox form.
Nope.
Okay,
Person.
as human.
Yeah, because I can't talk when I'm in a fox.
All right. So, as usual, you all get to play first. We know Morning is sprinting to the house. By the end of your turn, Morning, you can kick in the door if you want. D, you're between the dog, and Peter. Eddie and Kieran, what do you do?
Follow Morning into the house.
And Eddie?
Eddie will do the same, but he's not in a hurry because it feels like the dog hasn't really done any attacking yet. So,
in the house, the dog's turn. It is going to shift up to D and look at her with its one eye. And you see the eye sort of becomes a little wider. and it opens like a mouth.
Cool.
There's like a
Not cool. Scary.
you see like another
Not
eye
cool.
inside.
Ooh.
This one yellow instead of like reddish. Um,
Not cool.
and I have a question for D.
Yeah.
Who is the one person in the world that D holds the most dear?
Her mother.
Okay.
I don't like the sound of that.
I don't like this either. I don't like what
As you
sounds
stare,
kind of
Awful.
terrible shit this thing's gonna do. I don't like it.
it's not gonna do anything to your mother, by the way.
No, I know. It's just like it's one of those like it's those like psychic eye things.
Freaking
It's like,
Ghost Rider thing.
Yeah, this is that shit.
You can see in its tiny eye.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you remember that day a couple of months ago when you and the other godlings went to have dinner at your mom's?
Mm-hmm.
You see that scene in its eye. But you can swear it never happened.
Uh-oh.
In fact, from now on for D, you have no recollection of this scene ever happening.
What?
And the dog gets a little bigger. It's your turn.
All right. Oh boy. All right. Just gonna look at it. You said food. What do you want? Him? Why are you here?
Oh, the moment you say him, like it cracks a smile, full of teeth, and you realize the teeth are in angles that don't make sense. Like, it wouldn't be able to eat with its mouth at all.
Good.
And some
Excellent.
of them are so big, so long, that they, like, its head was clipping through the ceiling. The teeth are clipping through the top of the roof of its mouth, and it doesn't really seem to have a problem with it. Like, it's not a wound or anything.
No,
It's
it's
not
just
like you know, like the tusks of a boar that eventually will
yeah,
pierce
no.
its.
It's just part of the creature. Cool. This is
In fact, if I had to name something from pop culture that this dog kind of looks like,
yeah.
remember Aku from Samurai Jack?
Yeah. Yeah, that's not great. That's not something I want to.
Well, that's in front of you.
Cool. All right.
But yeah, so when you asked it, you know, what does it want? Him, it smiled. And you get the feeling that it wants Peter. Whatever it wants to do with Peter, you're not sure. I can give you another question before your turn ends. Or if there's something you want to try.
I think her immediate instinct is as far as what she wants to do. This is probably not necessarily going to stop, but it might hinder it, or at least a little bit. She's going to take a handful of rice out of the her rice bag and just kind of throw it in front of her. This thing is probably stronger, but
you throw the rice, and the rice has this power to give you a nigh perfect memory.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that it is probably its second favorite type of food.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you throw the rice at it, part of it just goes through the body, like it's insubstantial. Some does like bounce off certain parts of its face.
Okay.
Like there's a sort of physicality there. But it immediately like leans down to sniff the rice. And from that second eye that opens, a tongue comes out and snatches a piece of rice. I should say, like, it's more like a proboscis, I guess. But it's... In game terms, it is completely preoccupied by the rice. Like, its attention is fully focused on that, but when it does, like, eat one grain, it grows again. And you hear it. Oh.
Cool. Cool. This is not This is absolutely terrifying. This is. Can I? Does this like what it's doing? What I felt.
To eat all of your
Okay.
Like it's gonna vacuum the rice that you threw around.
Yeah. It's gonna look. I'm gonna look. Look at it in the bedroom. Like, get in there, hide what you can. If there's anything that's protective, you get to it.
And he slams the door shut, and you hear the sound of furniture being dragged on the floor. I'll move to the other three.
Yeah.
Morning, Kieran and Eddie.
Morning charged as soon as they said it was sword time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, by the end of your last turn, you are inside the house. Or like in the threshold.
Hell yeah.
Was what it did to me? Did it do I have awareness that it did something, or is it just like nothing happens?
I'd say make I'll go with cunning and occult.
Cool, okay.
While you might not like realize it right like in the seconds or so, just because you need like to sort of go through what you know in your mind. But for sure, when you have a breather, if you succeed, you'll get info on probably the truth on what's happening.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's see. 2 success.
Yep, 2 is enough. Morning.
Yes.
Do you sword it?
Oh, for sure. I do this little like parkour thing where I kind of run up the wall and then like come down atop of it.
Make a roll. It's
Yes.
defense because it is partially... Well, no. Ah, shit. I was gonna say its defense is 5, but it's going down to 3. I'll even say 2. The only reason you might miss, which you don't, is because, you know, you don't know which part of it is actually solid, which part is not. So you jump up, swing the sword down, and the dog disappears in a puff of black smoke.
Damn it.
No, you get the feeling that it didn't flee.
It just didn't strike either.
No, you defeated it.
Oh.
What?
It pretty much has like 1 HP.
Oh.
So it's just gone, and Morning's like WTF, which is lingo she learned on Twitter.
As Kieran and Eddie enter the house, D, you sort of, it clicks in your mind. That thing, and there's still more to learn about it, definitely, but it feeds on the connection people have with the divine. So either from one of you to a human, or from a human to a divine being. Or divine to divine in the case of the rice. It feeds off of it and it makes it more powerful. As this has happened, because your mother is not fate bound to you, your memory comes back. And you wonder how come you could have forgotten that? Like it was 2 months ago. And we'll close today on this image. The smoke rises from the house, like when the dog was splattered. But it goes all the way up like a cloud, evaporates into the eye. And the clouds around the eye just swirl a little bit faster. Dun dun dun.
Ah,
Uh-oh.
That's it for today.
Uh-oh.
ah.
But yeah, something end of the world.
Yeah.
Oh, settle.
That's it. Oops.
Probably.
We'll be fine.
But yeah, so with those two
Yeah.
successes, just to clarify, like if someone is fate bound, that's what it's looking for in game terms.
What is fate bound again?
So whenever you, not whenever you like admit that you're divine, but with each actions that you do, all of you, there is a chance that a mortal becomes the fate of that mortal becomes intertwined with yours forever. It's like if the fates were to take like the strand that belongs to you, the one that belongs to that mortal, and sort of braid them together. And that mortal can have a role. Like the most basic fate bound thing is I don't remember what the name is, but it's like the eternal like person in danger. Wherever you are, for some reason, whenever there's danger around you, this person happens to be there. And normally, as players in the game, you could say, like, well, I'm not gonna save him. But, like, in your character's mind, I mean, this person is someone that you care about. It's very hard for your character to give it up.
Yeah.
But the problem is, the more you save them, stronger the bind. The stronger the bind, the worse it gets. And that's sort of what will eventually, like, in all of those myths and everything, that's what leads to the death of that god. Like, they will do something at some point that will, like Achilles, who was always able to win, every combat, everything. But eventually, like, he would overextend. Someone would, by luck or by skill, get his weak point. So in the case of Achilles, it's more like the people fate bound to him were like challengers. People that were always like barriers in his way to overcome, without realizing that at some point, like in game terms, it would be at some point I will roll so many dice that I will not fail. That's how you would translate what happened to him. Same goes for a lot of different divinities and a lot of myths. That's how they explain in Scion what happens, and you do not fate bound anyone before you have like 2 points of legend. From now, well, ever since we started second season, actually, you risk a chance of binding people every time you do something.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm behind the scenes in my notes. I have a list of like NPCs that I'm like, well, that could work, that could work, that could work, that could work, and it only depends on like if a situation just presents itself.
Mm-hmm.
It might just be that it happens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, this is bad. What were that?
Mm-hmm. Technically, I think you get 1 person bound per point of legend that you have.
Hmm.
It's kind of hard to resolve. But fate-bound people, like, on the other hand, they give you, like, there's an ability that they give you. Like, you can call upon them for something.
Mm-hmm.
Screaming, I don't know mortal people.
Oh, it doesn't need to be mortal people.
Okay.
It doesn't
Okay,
need to
good.
be people.
Oh no, bad. I mean,
Yeah, real
okay,
bad.
good.
Not good.
Oh no,
Bad.
not good.
Very bad.
I mean, hey, Renee, today you spent a lot of time with 3 spirits.
You're right, I did. God damn it. But 2 of them hopefully went to the afterlife.
Hopefully.
What if something happens while they're over there?
Yeah, what if this thing eats?
Now the thing is
Bad
so the victim is the easiest, right? It's the laziest to do. It's sure you might have one, but like it would be very poor of me to always have like damsels in distress all around you. That
Yeah,
would just whereas having, you know, different type of fate bindings is more interesting. For instance, I have them here. Yeah, so some of them, you know, will be, you know, will only last 1 episode, like a recurring NPC. Others might be for longer, like 3, 4, like almost like a story arc. Some might be for all eternity, even after you're dead. Wink, wink. Yeah, Imperiled is one. Apprentice, Balm, Boon Companion, the Canary, the Jinx, the Nemesis, the Paramour, the Rival, and the Traitor, and the Worshipper. Which, you know, for someone who's a social media personality, the Worshipper is one of the easiest to get.
Yeah.
How many followers does?
I think a pretty
Really
decent amount at this point.
Yeah.
We talked about at least several thousands.
And it's see the that would be easily translated to like the what is it that we call the parasocial relationship? It's like
Oh, for sure.
It's a weird parasocial relationship where the person, you know, IRL we'd say they worship you, but like they actually do worship you.
Worship you.
Like they might make sacrifices in your name.
Oh.
But the difference is if they do, and you call upon them, like there's actually it's not all negative in this case. It's mostly negative because it is not healthy. Like it's not healthy for them. The problem is it's not, even if you were to say no,
Right.
it's not your character's fault.
Right.
It's the fates that were like, oh, this person is a tier 3 sub. Let's intertwine them. And if you want to remove that, you know, you're gonna have to fight fate, which is one of the themes of Scion.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Also, like,
Just like
could have
moving
a
slowly off camera. Sorry.
online cult. Good.
Great. I love those online cults. So fun.
Eh.
But like, what the worshippers can become. Like if you're a character, or if you as a player wanted to create like a church to yourself, like that person would become like your archpriest or whatever.
Wow.
But it's not all like healthy to do.
No, of
Like
course
for the
not.
most part, you don't want it. But fate has a way to fuck all of y'all up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it doesn't mean that everything that I'll put in your way will be like unhealthy things between NPCs and you. Sometimes it's going to be like, for instance, if wow, I completely forgot her name.
Winnie?
Your friend Winnie, thank you.
Winnie. Yeah.
If Winnie
know.
was not a goddess herself, she would probably be Morning's boon companion.
Right, right. Yeah.
Sort of like a mortal best friend.
Yeah. For sure.
The main and Finbar. Or, Eddie and that new lawyer, James Bacon.
Oh, you want?
Because James might be sort of like in an eternal cycle of reincarnation, but is not a divine being. Or Kieran and the person Kieran fucked over in his background that Hannah gave me, and I have yet to do something.
Oh no!
There's a few other
Hannah,
things.
why did you do that?
Oh,
Because I love a good
that's fun. That's
comeuppance.
fun.
Gotta love those
mean-
knives.
There's a few people that cost Eddie his job, and those people are gonna resurface too. And a lot of different things. D, you haven't talked to Michelle in a while.
Yeah, I know. That's not. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
So, I'll pass the mic on to you, everyone. If you have anywhere that you're going to be in the upcoming week, if you want to shout out anything, please do so. Once again, thank you very much, players, for taking some time off on your Saturday to play Baby Gods with me. We'll do the same order as we did the intro, so we will start with the Fox Lady herself, D.
Hey, I'm Lynn, playing Cirrus on Twitter, Twitch, every place else. You can go there for my art and what I'm doing about this week. This upcoming Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Critical Misses, I am going to be part of a Humblewood game.
Mhm.
So that should be fun. I am going to be playing since cats were not available. I am a crow person, which I'm basing off one of the crows that like I have around here, with the one that eats Cheetos out of bags. So that should be fun.
Nice.
And tomorrow we're going to start building another Gundam model kit. I finished the giant red one that's back there. I would grab him, but I am terrified to grab them because they are like little tiny fragile statues, and they should just stay where they are and look awesome. But check me out for that. Should be interesting.
Thank you. Sword Lady now. Morning.
Hi, I'm Sword Lady. I use she, her pronouns, but my name is Renee. Morning, the Sword Lady does also use she, her pronouns. It has been an absolute joy to be back today. I have not been up to much because life has hit real hard, but as I'm sort of feeling better and have more and more stuff going on, you can find me on Twitter at RayDNR, and a lot of what I do, podcasts, streams, writing projects, everything else will be making an appearance on there at some point or another. So, also cats. I have very good cats. I think that's it.
We're gonna move on next to the Lying Man. Or is it
That's
the Human
not
Torch?
specific
I don't
enough.
know.
Okay, there you go. I am Hannah. You can find me online, Hanimation Art, on Twitter, Hanimation Studios, everywhere else. And I will not be on any of my programs next week because I will be at MegaCon Orlando. So you can also find me there in person. Woohoo! So usually I'm on this channel Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. playing some Sentinels with Anino, and then back on this channel on Fridays at 8:30 p.m. playing Cyberpunk, also with Anino. And then every Saturday, except next Saturday, you can find me here at 1 p.m. EST playing Scion, like today. Thank you, Simon, for having me on your channel so much. I'm surprised you're not sick of me yet. I'm not going to jinx it.
Cool. I'm glad you're here, actually. 3 days, 3 nights a week. And next up is our CEO and venture capitalist, Eddie.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. I will be on the Other Dog channel tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Brunch and The Edge of Paradox, a Invisible Sun campaign. In addition to the shows that Anna is mentioned earlier, we'll find a way to soldier on without her craziness. But anyway, I think that's it for me.
Well, I am Simon, again, at Wandering DM. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you, players, once more. Thank you to everyone who hung out in chat. I hope to see you all again next week. And you can find me tomorrow at 1 p.m. over on Roll For It for the second to last episode of The Last Ditch, which was supposed to be something dark and serious and ended up being MASH meets Police Academy, which is amazing, and we have a hell of a time. Then there won't be a Blue Rose tomorrow night. We're taking a break this week, so you can find the start of our polycule, I guess, starting next week. And then on Wednesday, I'll be back on Praxagorathis Meforius channel at 7 p.m. for The Witcher. And then Thursday here for Sentinels, Friday for Cyberpunk, and next Saturday for the continuation of whatever's going to happen in Ireland, I guess. Have a good weekend, everyone. Ciao.